Pues son 10 y 10. Bueno, miren, yo hice esto, lo empecé en el 2020. Lo estoy como es, ahora lo estoy usando a
Curating.
full ahora lo estoy usando a full en la escuela. A ver si lo ven. ¿Lo ven? ¿Lo ven? No sé si
Sí.
se las había mostrado.
No, no lo habíamos
Esto
visto
hice
antes, pero
yo.
ahí se ve. Ujú.
Yo hice esta página porque yo tengo muchos grados y siempre voy pululando. Toda mi vida tuve primer ciclo, pero ahora tengo más bien segundo ciclo. Entonces hice esto con la idea de que los chicos que cuando yo los tenía en primer grado, que estábamos en pandemia, eh, como no sé, muchos no se conectaban, dije, bueno, cuando volvamos a la escuela, que tengan todo en un lugar. Entonces hice esto de games, stories, activities, songs, videos. Y entonces les hice para que, porque de golpe también me pasaba que uno de quinto me decía, no me acuerdo cómo se escribe blue. Entonces yo, por ejemplo, ven, puse el vocabulario que veíamos en primer ciclo, no sé, les puse todo lo que veíamos, los números, todo esto así, que en algún momento yo tengo ganas de compartirlo, pero no está del todo terminado. Y yo le voy agregando cosas que son las cosas que voy viendo que voy haciendo con los chicos. Quise, viste el año pasado, Gaby, que hicimos eso de Flippity.
Yes.
Lo quise, ven, qué sé yo, hice así, esto lo hice con esa página que no me acuerdo ahora el nombre.
Live worksheets.
No, este no, este es el
ThinkLink.
ThinkLink, ahí está. Entonces esto ahora lo uso yo una vez por semana, con los de primer grado, por ejemplo, voy a la pantalla. Entonces les hago escuchar, ven, por ejemplo, ahí, si uno pone ahí, te muestra el color y te dice la palabra más que nada. Y entonces hice eso. Después, qué sé yo, tiene juegos, no sé, tiene juegos por categorías. Ven, por ejemplo, ahora estoy viendo Choice con los de primer grado y con los de cuarto estoy viendo las partes del cuerpo. Entonces los mando acá y a los que no se acuerdan, los mando a hacer esto de las partes del cuerpo y después a los más grandes los mando a ordenar oraciones, a contestar preguntas. Y hacemos todo esto. Entonces, cuando cada uno, yo tengo la buena suerte de que, por ejemplo, en cuarto grado tengo las computadoras en el aula, el carro está ahí. Entonces, el que termina de hacer algo, yo le digo, bueno, anda, agarra la compu, ya cada uno tiene un número asignado por su compu, y les digo, bueno, hiciste el juego 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, ¿cuál te faltó hacer? No, me faltó el 6. Bueno, anda a abrir la compu y hacete el juego 6. Entonces, esto como tiene una suscripción, porque la cooperadora de la escuela a nosotros nos pagó la suscripción de WordWall.
The WordWall.
Esto no, lo de Wix no lo paga nadie.
It's free. Hi,
Hola,
Ceci.
Ceci. Sí, la de Wix la estoy usando.
Sorry for the delay. Good morning.
No,
I'm sorry.
Morning, Ceci.
Okay.
Entonces, bueno, y así con todo.
And Marce, I have a question. When the students finish doing the different activities that they find in Wix, do you renovate or do you change the activities?
No, I leave the activity there.
Okay, good.
Just for them to go. And then we have, I don't know, the house, food, all the vocabulary that it's generally found in primary school books. This is, for example, transport is for second grade. This is for fourth. Free time activities is for sixth. And well, and you have all there. You have all the things that the students can do. And if they have free time and they have done all the activities regarding their the topic we are dealing with, I let them choose. Okay, you choose. I mean, if they are in fourth, I don't, for example, I don't let them choose jobs because this is for sixth grade.
Okay.
So I tell them, you can choose any not this,
Okay.
because this will be, I mean, they can choose it, but they don't know the words. So
Exactly.
I let them choose whatever they want to do, and especially they do these animals, the school, because sometimes they don't remember the school objects or whatever.
They go there
and they go there and they but well, and it has some stories as well.
This is sorry, everybody. I'm
Yes.
just a parachuter here right now.
Yeah. No, this is
can you
something that I created during the pandemic.
And it's in a website. You created your own website. Is it
Yeah.
private?
Yes, but the thing is that I don't pay for this is for free.
No, because you have website. And how did you do the activities with which program?
With some activities are with word wall. Then I downloaded, because for example here when you have videos or stories, where are the stories? Here, stories, for example, there are some stories which for example this, let me show you. For example, this, the family book, this, the adventures of Grandpa and me. This is one, or this. These are stories that appear on the teacher's magazine, and I created videos. So, for example, you have this, and I created with the I think this is okay.
Canva? No.
This is me, because I told this is a story that I recorded when we were in the pandemic. I recorded for first grade. So I did this with PowerPoint, I think. I don't remember very well. But well, and all the activities are there. And the students can go there when they are, and this is Winnie the Witch, and this is another story from a book which I like. And then it's not complete, but well, I started.
It's fantastic. It looks great. And with PowerPoint, you recorded, you can have that image of yourself coming up.
I think so. I learned
this is
that,
the new power. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the new, but I
you
learned
can do that
this
with Zoom. Like actually, if you
Yes,
create
Zoom.
a Zoom session just on with yourself.
Yes, just by yourself. Yeah.
You share
But
the screen, you
PowerPoint,
record, and you have the
PowerPoint.
Yeah, with Zoom I knew, but with PowerPoint I didn't.
Yeah, because PowerPoint you can insert I don't know with Zoom. I have never tried Zoom for that, but with PowerPoint you can type and you can do just well. The activities that I created there now are I use them when I go to the lab with my students. I go with first grade. I go once a week. And then I shared the page with the parents through Edmodo, because we are still using Edmodo, because here in the city of Buenos Aires, I mean, everything is face to face, but not the report card. The report card is sent to the students via a platform. So you create the report card digitally, and you have to send the report card to the parents. The report card is sent via Edmodo. That's why we are still using Edmodo with the children and with the parents. And the children play at home. I tell the parents, this week we play these games. If you want to continue playing at home, you can do it, because some children complain, no, teacher, I want to play. I didn't play, and we do that.
That's so good. It's taken you ages not to prepare that wonderful site.
But well,
but it worked, but it has paid off.
I did it for me, because I wanted, because every time that I wanted to go to the this is an interactive whiteboard that we have at school. Every time that I wanted to go to the interactive whiteboard, I had to look for an activity, and it took me ages. So I kind of created this, but well,
Well, it's a
Congratulations.
really nice, yes,
one
site,
day,
curation of material.
one
Yeah.
day when I think it is over, it will never be, but
Yes,
the day I think it will be over, I will kindly share it with the public school six if they want to.
Okay.
that is
All
great.
right. That's so
That's
good.
great. Yeah, a
That's
lot
so
of
good.
work.
The thing
And
is
this,
that
yes,
as if it is free, you have to share the link, because if you type my way to learn English, it doesn't appear on Google
right.
because I have to pay for that. I will never
Yes,
pay.
Okay.
I have
yes.
told the my school cooperadora if they want to pay. They told me, Marcel, right now we cannot afford it. Well, I will keep it free. I will never pay for something that I mean, it's not going to give me any revenue,
Reward.
let's say. Exactly. But well, but it's there.
Okay, very good. So
Yeah.
this you use it, just to wrap it up, sorry for the delay. This you use it for as an additional, it's for extra work, for laboratory
Exactly.
work.
Yeah,
You don't do
because
flipped learning with that, or do you?
no, I use it at school with the children because
Mhm.
this is the school where I work is a plurilingual school, and the
Mm,
children have 8 periods a week.
But
So
okay.
I was thinking, Marce, that maybe you can use it to flip the lessons because you can upload there I don't know, the content video, and then in the class design different activities related to that content. Because there is, because one of the disadvantages that many teachers found when they started flipping was that the students didn't do the pre-work work, let's say, that was watching the video previously to come the
to the
class.
class with the video
Exactly.
watched.
Exactly. So there is a variation or a new configuration of flip learning that is calling flip class, in which you design a station of work that is called flip, the flip station. And
Yeah.
there, the student find the content video or any material that you prepare to deliver the content. And then, of course, they continue with the different stations of work related to that content, okay? And
Yeah.
of course, following Bloom's taxonomy from the lower order of thinking to the higher one, and so on and so forth.
Ah.
Mm. So
That
the
that that is
idea, the idea is that you have a physical station. You don't give them a link anymore. You have a place, a location,
exactly.
a repository, let's say,
Yes.
where you like in my case, my campus. No,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have activities in the campus, and they have everything there. So they go to that place, they get the activity. That would be the thing of this
Exactly.
flipped class.
Flip class, and then there are different inside in flip class you have different configurations, let's call it like way, and you can say sequence, where in which the students follow a sequence of activities, okay, or a loop, and the students can choose where to start working, okay. And well, this is still a research, okay, and some of my colleagues that are my I don't know, my inspiration in flip learning, they are going to launch a whole book about in flip class, so I am
Ah.
waiting for it. Yeah,
Ah.
it's
Well.
very
Okay.
interesting, very, very interesting.
Look.
So, and the main purpose of flip learning is that, okay, to create autonomy and to maximize the time class with your students, okay,
Yes.
and don't waste time lecturing and explaining a million times one topic.
Okay. Okay. Well, there I have in the, let's say, so that students can um, be on their own. I have like a grammar section, and there, when the students have any doubts or when they have a test or something, they can go there and they can check anything they have forgotten or something that they don't have in their on their folders. And well, and there they go and check there. In fact, there is a girl that I have in 6th grade, and she told me, Marce, I have a test with present simple and we haven't seen present simple. Can I go to your page and look for the activities there? Yes, you can go. And well, and they use it like a kind of a revision.
Oh, that's great. All right, fantastic. Okay, so the topic of today is flipped learning. Gabby, you're going to tell us how you flipped your lessons, or
actually the topic was
The
Juli, what is the
material.
topic?
Yes, the idea was, remember that in the opening event we talked about exploratory research. And
yes,
the idea was that maybe we start working with a handbook of exploratory research, and little by little we can read, move forward, and see if we can reflect on our practices during the pandemic, yes, and see if we can produce, yes, something like a paper or something more academic, yes, as a result of our reflection, yes, on those practices. So we were thinking of today maybe starting by sharing some challenges and some successes, yes, that we had during the pandemic in the use regarding the use of technology. Right, so we start reflecting on our practices, we started sharing them and helping out, yes, each other to maybe see, because basically the idea was in the action research handbook they say that sometimes we reflect on our own practices, but we need other voices maybe to see what we are doing from another perspective. So maybe we can share some challenges, some successes, listen to different voices and start reflecting today, right? So the idea was to maybe start working with the ideas from chapter 1. So maybe what you shared, Marcela, actually a good departure point yes, for us to start reflecting. Yes, because you've shared this site that you created. You mentioned some of the successes, yes, that you had, how you used it during the pandemic, and now that we are back face to face. I don't know if you have come up with any like issues, problems, challenges, if you noticed anything that maybe you say, well, I would like to improve this.
Well, some things that I noticed is that, for example, I created some activities or I designed some, I don't know, vocabulary aspects, and the children, I don't know, probably the images are not appropriate, or the children or the children cannot see them properly. Now that we have this face-to-face situation, they can tell me what they can, I mean, what they don't understand. So probably, I don't know, as regards the grammar explanations that I created, like some kind of context for the grammar point we are dealing with, sometimes they tell me that they don't understand, so I change the whole pattern that I created during the pandemic, which I didn't know how they were going to deal with it, because I wasn't there to see their faces or their reactions. And now I do, and I don't know, for example, when I had to explain the verb to be, the first time that I did with some loose sentences, and then I created like a pattern with the family, and I created sentences based on that, and the children could understand better the explanation, for example, of this topic. So this is what I am doing now with them. Or probably, I don't know, sometimes there's a game which I see that in the face-to-face class, they don't get very well what they have to do, and I assumed that it was, I don't know, that they would do it very quickly, and took them ages to do each activity. So I changed the activity. Apart from that, I changed the activity thinking of which resource we are going to use. For example, with first grade, I have some tablets at school. The thing is that the tablets are not working very well, so I used an interactive whiteboard to play the games with them. So I create activities for this interactive whiteboard. And with fourth grade and sixth grade, I have computers. So I create activities for computers, which are different from the activities that I create for the interactive whiteboard. So um, I take this into account. And also, some parents told me that they have cell phones. I didn't know that you see the page differently if you have a computer or a cell phone. So I try to create the page with taking into account if the children are going to use a computer or a phone. And this is challenging because most parents have cell phones, not
Cell phone.
computers.
Yeah, and the same happened to me when I design my lessons, you know, because most of my students, I mean, all of them have phones. And when I design the activities, I plan them and I try them in my computer. So I have to learn how to use it, how to use the app or the activity in their phones. And for me, it's so complicated because the layout is different. The functions and the features that they have in their phones are in a different place than in my computer. So this is something that we have to bear in mind when we plan a digital activity, okay? Especially because they start, I can't do it because, no, you can't do it because you have to go there and there. But previously to that, I have to explain them how to use the app in their phones. So that is the most challenging part when I design any digital activity.
Yes, and sometimes, I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes I take for granted that maybe they know how to use it. I mean, they know how to use, or they will find it easy just because maybe they are adolescents or they are used to using phones. And then maybe they have to log in to a website. Or the other day I was sharing an activity on a QR code, you know, because I said, well, how can I share a digital activity to a face-to-face class without sending them a link, because I didn't have like Google Classroom, I didn't have any, so how can I share this? I said, well, a QR code.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to them how to scan a QR code to access the activity, because most of them did not know how to do it. It happened with adolescents, but then it happened in a group of adults. That I said, well, you know, we are used to maybe going to a restaurant, scanning the code for the menu. Yes, but they didn't know. Yes, so this is something that I had not considered. Yes, at that moment, or that some devices maybe don't have this QR reader, as as some phones have. Um,
And
yes.
sorry, I wanted to add something else, because I noticed, especially with my students, my adolescents, that they need to be guided. I mean, or they need to be instructed on what they have to do without reading the instruction that they have in front of them. So they are reading what they have to do, but at the same time, they ask me to explain that. And this is something that I'm trying to train my students to try to solve their own problems. Not the problem maybe that they don't know how to use the app, but yes, what they have to do in order to solve the activity. I don't know if I am clear, because they
Yes.
are
Yes, you are.
when you flip, one of the things you are looking for is for the autonomy, your students' autonomy. So you deliver a problem to them, and they have to find the strategies or the ways to solve the activity. and you only, your role when you flip a lesson is guide them, facilitate the road, okay, but not give them the solve map of how to follow the road, you know?
Can I say something?
Yes.
What I have found is that many times in every group there is one that is better at technology, that will be able, that there is always someone who can download the audios or has access to, knows how to use the apps. So I think that it has helped me a lot to give this student the leading role, because first we need time for this. I mean, it's not a waste of time to devote maybe a good part of the lessons to teaching the students, and also we learn how to use certain resources. And there are always in every group students who are better at that. So I give them the floor. I allow them to stand there and explain, because in this way, the others begin to feel that they can also do it. It doesn't come from the teacher. It is a partner who's doing it. And so they begin to feel that, well, if he can do it, I can do it. I mean, this is time that you need. And sometimes you feel it is a waste of time. But then later, you see how they start doing it. I mean, not being there in leading the thing all the time, because some of them are really good and they have resources. They are more technologically minded and they can do it. And then it is more collaborative, and they feel, the others feel that they can also start exploring. Because in my experience, I have learned to use technology and to use all the resources by devoting time to exploring. And this is something we don't allow them many times. We want them to start using the things immediately. And this didn't happen to us. We needed time to explore, to try and see whether it worked or not. In the past, we only had the books. So we took time maybe to explore the books. But now we need time to explore the apps. And when I began to relax and say, well, this is not wasted time, then things run smoothly. And also giving them assignments to explore things. I mean, well, for next time, I would like you to see how you can access this or that. And then sometimes they come up with very interesting solutions. I have learned things from my students. And in connection with flipping, I also feel that some of them will do research and others won't. But I think that you don't need to evaluate this, because this should not be evaluated. But I think that if they can come up with explanations and solutions, and they become better searchers, then it is like something like a skill that you develop. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process. And again, I think that time is the answer.
Yes, totally agree.
Definitely,
Totally agree.
yes.
I mean, when I started flipping, I took some time to digest all these new ideas, and also I have to give my students the time to see how they were going to work from now on, okay? Because I flip all my lessons. So it took me 4 or 5 years, more or less, that my students started understanding what flip learning was, and well, yes, of course, and the time was during the process, it was super difficult and hard at the same time. So this is very important, to give time to you and to your students. Yeah, I agree.
And
Okay.
Gabi, did you do
Yes.
anything differently, like in terms of flipped learning during the pandemic? I mean, when we had 100% virtual lessons, then when we had the hybridity, and now that we are like face to face.
Yes. Well, actually, I have to learn how to flip my lessons in pandemic because it was everything virtual. I had the content video, but I didn't had all the sequence of activities planned digitally. So I have to restructure and readapt all these for virtual lessons. And where I try everything. I tried, yeah, the virtual lessons created on Genially. And there they found the sequence of activities. And then when we came back to face-to-face lessons, I had some students virtually and I had some students in class. So I replicated the virtual lesson on Genially in my class. So I replaced the instructions of each station in paper, okay? I replicated them on paper and then stick them on the classroom and arranged the classroom in stations. And it was hard,
Yes, I can
but
imagine.
it was hard, but it was possible. It was possible, yeah. And the good thing is that the students, what I noticed after flipping so many years, they enjoy this way because I don't know if all of them, but most of them feel that they are being considered, okay, in the learning process, in what I plan for them. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes. That
Uh,
you are thinking of your classes with them in your mind. I mean, it's not just that you're thinking about teaching content to any students, but you're considering like them as your group, as your students, and what
yes.
is best for them.
Yes. And I also, when I plan the lessons, I plan them as mini projects. So at the end of a lesson, they have to create something in relation to what they learn. And well, some of them have created, because we were last year during pandemic, I mean, no, last year, the previous 2020, we were working on climate change, and one of the groups created in Minecraft, a project in Minecraft, explaining how to save the natural resources and how to care for the natural resources, especially the water, in Minecraft. And this, let's say, game, because it was like a game, was replicated or was shown to primary students. And it was fantastic. And I couldn't believe that it was possible in pandemic, because imagine that. But well, the advantage that I had on that project was that I had many technological students. So, and they, what you said, Lydia, and the idea came from them. Okay, so I have no idea that they could create like a game to learn how to save water, for example. And they thought in Minecraft, and I learned a lot because I didn't know how to use Minecraft. That was great. That was great.
I have a contribution maybe, because one of the things that you mentioned before is following instructions. So one thing is the technology, but then following the instructions in the games, and they have to know how to read. We have to write the instructions clearly so that they can follow, and they have to read them. So let me share in the chat. I just downloaded it from the internet because I had it, I don't know, in my computer, I don't know in which year, but you have probably seen this. It's following instructions game. I don't know, maybe we can. I included it in
the chat.
In the chat. We can open it if you want, or I can share. I don't know. What do you want?
Yes, come on,
yes.
share it.
I share the screen here. I got it from Pinterest right now because I knew I had it, but well, as I told you somewhere. This is a great instructions game. Can you follow directions? That's the idea. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Can you?
Yes.
Okay, can you follow directions? Okay, so what you have to do is get a piece of notebook paper, write your answers, and draw a picture when you're finished. Yeah? So you give the instructions to this. You give them a slip of paper and say, okay, this is a game on how to, on following, can you follow instructions? So read all these steps before doing anything. That's the first one. 2, write your first name in the top right-hand corner of your paper. In the left-hand margin, write number 1 to 10, but write them backwards. Blah, blah, blah. But you have very nice activities. Number 10, color the middle heart on the way. Very, very nice. Make an X in the center of the triangle. Use the tops. You get people enthused writing, doing this. At the end, you get, now that you have finished reading everything carefully, only do steps 1 and 2, then draw a picture on the back of your paper.
That's great.
And everybody
I saw something
yes.
like this. I don't
yes,
remember
I was
where.
even this when I was a student in primary school. I remember this. Yes.
You remember this?
Yes,
it's
and
so
I remember
good.
I didn't follow the instructions.
No,
I started
nobody.
like doing everything like crazy.
You saw all the people doing this, that, stand up. And
well,
this is, you don't follow instructions. Read and do only what is, so he says, read all the steps before doing anything. Read all. That's the first instruction, you didn't read it. So, well.
Exactly. So that's why it's so difficult for them to complete a escape room. In my case, it happened that there was only one group. When I tried one of the escape rooms that I had designed, only one group could solve it because they were the only one who read the whole instructions. They were lost in the middle because, no, but I didn't read that well. There is instructions. There are instructions before starting the escape room. So you have to pay attention to them because then you are lost in the middle. And I have to train a lot this in my students.
They are not, in general, I think, either they are not used to reading instructions or they want things like in the easy way. Because either way, like with very simple instructions, like, for example, the other day I was teaching past simple. The activity was complete with was or were. That was the instructions. What do we have to do? I don't understand this activity. So have you read the instructions? Read them with me. They said. Now that they have read it, I understand it. But it's like it is not a part of the activity. They go directly. I don't know why.
No,
but they go directly to the activity.
Because they saw the image or they do something and they plunge into that without reading. It happens the same with tests. Test, what is the first thing you do with the test? Read the instructions. So that's why I try to keep them simple. When you have to read and color, or read and complete, read and order. And it's very difficult for them. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Maybe, can I say something? Maybe I have tried doing this, both in face-to-face classes and online classes, giving them an exercise without any instruction and asking them, what do you think you have to do here? So they came up with and they always come up with a good solution. I mean, with the correct thing. But the moment they don't have the instructions, they have to start thinking of them. And then I provide the instructions. And maybe this has, especially at higher levels, it helps. When they have to think of the instructions, they see the exercise, which is what they do. They look at the exercise without reading the instructions. So I tell them, well, write down the instructions you think correspond to this exercise. And many times they do it well. Giving the instructions an important, I mean, the importance they have.
Yes.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
Juli, I don't know what do you think, but maybe we can start completing this file. Have you seen it? Because we share it in WhatsApp. Okay.
Yes, I saw
and it. This is actually this is what the chapter number 1 says. Okay, what we saw, heard, and felt in our teaching practices. So maybe we can write the successes and challenges, the ones that we share now, in order to have the first chapter finished and then continue with chapter number 2 next meeting. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yes, I think it would be a good idea. Also, I remember that Ceci, you had this idea of the like the structure for the research.
And yes, I have some. I yesterday, you know, I'm also in the BSIG group, Business English group, and we are also there going to do some small action research, and we thought because we have these two APIVA SIGs that are doing this, we thought of talking with the Maria Marta and who else, who are in the research SIG, to see if they can give us a short overview, because if we start reading the whole book, because when I was part of the APIVA research SIG for a little while, and I had to read, I started reading this book, and it's too long and it takes too long. So really, and for us, research is context, it's the format. We need to put so if we finish with the format in September, we will have very little time to do anything. So a way of speeding up this process is, I think, that we can get together with the people from the Business English SIG and join the research SIG one day, in which they can give us, the BSIG was going to ask them, but I'm here as a spokesperson for the BSIG group as well, to see if we can all go together and meet the people in the research SIG so that they can give us a little overview. Virginia Lopez Grisolia was going to make the request to see if they could help us with this, if they could give us an overview of action research and all that, because they have read the books, they know the shortcuts, they know everything. So then after that, probably we can come up with some kind of nice chart or guidelines, but very, very simple, because we need to focus on content. Then in any case, we can and we start filling in our projects there. And then in the end, probably second half of the year, we can do another meeting and see what is missing, or perhaps we can do some reading in parallel, read one chapter each or something, and share in this common template. But I think that the fastest way out of this, because we're going to get into analyzing a book, some people are going to read it, some people are not, we don't know. So maybe is to get them to give us an overview, guidelines, and then start with no? What do you think?
I think it's a really good idea, because in fact, I mean, we are like sensible. I mean, we don't have actually much time to read the book. I mean, it's been a month since the opening event, and in my case, I have only been able to read chapter 1. And I found the time, and I was like, oh, I need to find the time to read. I need to do this, and it's true. Maybe it's not our focus; it's the context. I mean, it's something. It's like the format, yes, and maybe we can concentrate on, as Ceci was saying, the content, yes, that we need.
I have something to share with you now. I was looking for it because this will help us for our purpose. We need, as you said, Juli, the focus, no?
Yes,
and more content, but within context. But this we have to speed up there. Let me just. Well, I bought a new computer last year during the pandemic, and now I have a million things open, which is a shame. Okay, now yes, EdTech. I have, look at this, ELT research. So I copied this book. I have the book, never mind, just focus. This is being recorded, I want to be effective for our colleagues as well. No, this one, template. This is one of the templates that we did when I was in the ResearchSig. We did this one. Look at this, it's beautiful. 2019, exploratory action research kickstart. How do we get kickstarted? And that's what we want to tell, what we want to know. So this template intends to be an aid for us SIGers to get started and advance in our exploratory action research. This is open for every member to give suggestions, and each of us can give ideas to tweak it and improve it. They have probably finished doing something like that. Can they share it with us? I have this version from the beginning of the SIG. My research area is, I need to do exploratory action research in this area because I have observed that my research questions are the situation today, what we'd like to achieve, what the actions I'm going to implement to achieve it, how I will measure it, and how I will report the results. Beautiful. This is a great template already. Have they moved forward with this? Have they advanced? What do they have? Can they give us a short lesson, a webinar, together with the Business English SIG? And maybe we can invite other SIGs that are also interesting, and we do cross knowledge sharing. And I don't know. I will share this template Mercedes created, but they will probably, if they accept it, would be fantastic, no?
Yes. And I was thinking what Anabela, after the opening event, she sent me a private message, and she proposed that instead of writing or doing a research or doing an action research about that, we can create a booklet with the different experiences. Okay, so I was thinking on that when Ceci showed the template, and maybe we can base our booklet or our proposal for this SIG based on these on the answers that the SIGers gave in the template, and create like a booklet, okay, with our experiences, explaining challenges and successes as we did before.
Yes,
like
fantastic.
Focusing, yes, we should yeah, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Sorry, no, Juli, you go ahead.
No, I was thinking, okay, the challenges and successes, but we need to define the what, no? I mean, are we going to focus on like challenges and successes of apps? Are we going to focus on challenges and successes of what? Like, because we have been talking about this question of the way we designed materials, maybe during the pandemic, and how we can reuse them. Yes, but I'm thinking about maybe if it is a booklet, it's like more practical. So maybe we can. There was a booklet that the EdTechSig had already created. So maybe we can revisit that. I don't know. I mean, because I think that the what is like we need to like make focus and decide the content.
The what.
The what,
right? In the file we share, There were some questions. How can we take advantage of our digital material created during lockdown in our in-person lessons? How can flipped classroom or blended learning be of help? And what questions related to the use of apps my teachers have in different contexts? So the first idea was how to reuse what we have created during pandemic now in our face-to-face lessons. What tweak we can give to all the material created during pandemic, okay? So maybe we can put the focus on there. I don't know.
And the purpose is publication.
Or sharing the start sharing in Apiva, and then let's see.
Because,
okay, I see. Yes, sorry, Lydia.
No, because I think that in the public school SIG, we ended up creating a paper for publication.
Yes.
Because the idea is not to remain within the boundaries of the Apiva SIG.
Apiva.
Yes, of Apiva, but to be able to publish in international
journals, yes.
Journals, and in order to reach more people, because it's a lot of work, and then all this remains within the members of Apiva, and maybe it would be a good idea to have maybe not necessarily a paper, but something to be published.
Okay, what I see, I see 3 levels here of work, no? One is having a booklet. The booklet would be easier, following a certain format. It can be done like in a conveyor belt system. You can pose any problem because with the template that we have that I have shown you, that Mercedes Fariña has lovely worked out. With that template, we can already, or something similar, adapt it or a new one, but following any template, we have already got a booklet. That's less pressure, less demand. We can share it with everybody across the social networks. It will not have much academic or international presence, probably because of the fact that, due to the fact that it's not presented in the right way. But that would be option 1. A booklet. We can revisit the previous one. It's a good idea. It's okay. We can choose. So that would be 1. I don't think we need to concentrate on apps or on sites or whatever, because if we start with any problem, if we define the problem well, I think that many teachers will feel identified with different things, because we're starting with if we follow this kind of format, no, the template that we have seen, we are starting with an orientation to action research. So it has action research starts with a problem we see in class, and different app solutions different solutions can respond to different well, of course, problems. That's 1, the booklet, easy, fast, and we can start doing it together. It will be a lot of work, but it's 1 thing.
Yes, of course.
Another thing is, at the other end of the line, we have formal academic research. Action research is in the middle. We are not going to do formal academic research, but action research is because formal is like getting a lot into theory. You have to do academic research. Is not action research. Actually, action research brings research down to our little environments and classrooms. So I think that is not the thing we're going to do. But what Lydia and the public school SIG have done is working on action research, right, Lydia? It's formal, yes. It's publishable academically also, but it's not so serious as some. It's serious, but it's not so theoretical.
Rigorous, maybe, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's not so theoretical as some other kind of academic research, which is probably even longer and heavier. Action research is fantastic for SIGs, for teachers, for changing in very short and in a very effective and fast way people's lives, teachers' lives, you know, with a simple problem. And if they identify with the problem, they want to read the article, and it has to be formally written. Of course, that takes a lot of time, but it's simpler. What I like about action research is that it's, and then Lydia, you can add to it because you have been actually through the experience. I have done research, but some other kind of thing with my spiderweb method. I have collected lots of data and everything. And I feel that one of the things that has held me back is that I feel that if I have to publish, I have to do so much. I mean, 20 years of research, what kind of academic paper will I have to present? And I see action research as something more tangible, simple. I don't need to get into all the theory. So I can start with something simple, and then if we want, we get that and we develop it further, and we add the more theoretical constructs to the topic. So if we are going to produce papers for academic action research based on academic, it's going to be more formal. We need to follow a template, and it's got each article is, we can make a booklet, but it's going to be I think that the booklet, I don't know whether a booklet or public, because it's going to be, if we do it right, maybe we have 1 or 2 or 3 articles, not more, because maybe we can publish them in a journal, as Lydia has said. We can send them to Darío or to Paula Rebolledo, because it will take lots of time. No, Lydia, how long did you take to?
It took us like 6 months of meeting every week.
You see, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but I think that maybe if we focus on one question, I think that what Gabi said is really very interesting. How can we adapt the things that we created to work online during the pandemic to the face-to-face classes? And then if we focus on that question and we collect data on that question only, then we can have we have to define what our background was, what the context was, and then we have to define the challenges probably, or speak about the challenges, and then concentrate on our findings. I mean, but with one question only, not trying to have too many questions, just choose a question, collect data on that, and then maybe have a shorter paper, not an academic paper, but something that can help other teachers to see how we do this transition from being online to going face-to-face, but profiting from all those things we have created. So maybe that is a question. I don't know.
I think, and this is something that I've been wondering, this is from the very beginning when we went back face-to-face here in Capital. For example, in primary school, it was at the very beginning of last year, was which type of classrooms which type of students we were going to get. If we had a class of, I don't know, in my case, I have a class in 4th grade of 29 students, and I knew, because I followed that only a very small amount, I mean like 13 or 14, could follow the lessons during 2020, more or approximately 15 students. So we were going to get students who never connected through, I don't know how to say this in English, sincrónico or asíncrónico.
Synchronous or asynchronous.
Okay, synchronous or asynchronous during the pandemic. So we were going to get these students, and we knew that they were not going, that they hadn't done anything. So, I mean, one thing is to adapt the material for our lessons today, but other thing is to make these students feel what they hadn't done during 2020, because there's a reality, and this happens at least in primary school, that there are some 4th graders who cannot read. And this is something we have to solve.
Yeah.
Because it has happened in a lot of schools, not only public schools, but also private schools, students who cannot read in 4th grade. And you see and you see clearly in the class the students who followed you in 2020 and 2021 and the students who didn't. So I think this is the question that we have to attack. And this doesn't happen only in primary level. In secondary schools, when you have more material and more, and more activities to do, the students who didn't follow you, in which stage are they now? And I think this is very challenging for us because we create a class and we say, well, I don't know, the usual thing, I use this book, but the students who cannot follow the book, what do you do with them? And I think that's the question. I mean, we have to adapt what we have for these face-to-face lessons, but also we have to help the students who couldn't do anything.
Exactly.
It's such an important point you made. It's such a fantastic, yes.
This is the bridge.
It's a whole project. This is not something small. This is something very, very big.
Yeah, because when you are in class and you see one student, Miss, I have finished everything that I have to do. What do I do now? There are some students who, okay, you can do this. And then there are others who cannot start because you have to be there with them reading.
Well, in our experience, when we were mentoring, because our project with the public school was based on this, appeared as an issue. It was really what you are saying, a great difference between the students who had access to the material and students who did not. So when they met face-to-face, one thing that we talked among mentors and mentees was to try and form or have in the class a certain moment where we could work in groups where we had students who had been able to access the material and students who didn't. And they did pair work or group work sharing this. Because if you ask the students who have finished because they are much better than the others, and you give them extra things, the others will still be kept behind. So in some groups, this worked, that the students who had access to material were like helpers or mentors of a team or 2 or 3 other students who had not been able to follow. But then what they produced, the group, was something collaborative. They, that is to say, one had this role of sharing, but the others also had the role of trying to get hold of what they produced by conclusion. But again, this is a question of time, because we have to find new moments that we had not thought of before. This is a new reality. We have students who are pretty much behind, and others who, well, we have to try and find a way of creating this bond amongst the students. And we can help going around and seeing, and of course you need the computers or the cell phones, but well, again, this is time, but this time will be profited by both, by the students who are advanced, and also it will be good for the others, because it's really different when a partner helps you. I mean, creating these spaces, and well, maybe we won't be able to cover all the contents, but the work will be done by all the students. I mean, giving opportunities to all the students, to those who did not connect because they didn't have the means.
That's what you mentioned is very interesting, Lydia and Marcela. What I see here is that we cannot make too broad a question. How to adapt materials that we did during the pandemic. I mean, there are a lot of little examples, and each of those can become a paper of exploratory action research. Because one question of exploratory action research, this is not a question of exploratory action research. This is a question for a whole book with a lot of articles. Exploratory action research, sorry, exploratory action research articles sorry, I need some water, included. For example, what do I do? One of Marcela's questions, what do I do? Because action research is very, very small. It's just one little thing. What do I do with the students who finish first? That's one whole article, and you take that question and you answer that. What do I do with the ones that finish first? And you offer, with that topic, you have a lot of, you have to do the research, how many finish first? On average, out of the 30 students, 10 finish first, okay? And what do they do when they finish? What solutions can you offer? You test the solutions, and then so that only that little question springing from the big one is just one article. So we have to decide on a little question because what you're saying, Lydia, also crosses the point of mixed ability groups. So there we're getting into methodology, because students that finish first will not necessarily help others through the use of technology or anything. This is our SIG, but we have mixed ability groups. In the case of mixed ability groups, what do we get? Well, the solution is to get advanced students to help the more beginner ones. Another solution is to adapt materials. Another one, no? How do I adapt materials for mixed ability groups? So there are a lot of, we have to define the problem really well and make sure that it's related to our SIG. Right. And the question has to be really small. So I believe that if we all, suppose this, I don't know, take it or leave it. No, take it or leave it, no, discard it if you don't feel like I'm not going to go ahead with anything. But we get the template, or we make our own template, and we pose different little problems, because action research starts with, oh, I don't know what to do the first 5 minutes of a class. I mean, and it's so small and so beautiful as that. And that's what makes it achievable. So if we make it too big, we're going out of what is achievable and realistic in our context with our times. Lydia has already gone through the experience, and they are, so let's start with a lot of templates. Let's imagine all of us in the SIG will have different mini questions that are like, how do I start? How do I manage this lesson? I have problems with instructions. Okay, that's a fantastic topic, instructions. I even have some theory about writing good instructions in English. I can share that with you for writing good instructions for activities. ELT managers, it's one of the ELT books by these guys. This is Jeremy Harmer, but there are some others I have over there, so I can share that. So how do I write instructions for my groups? Another one can say, oh, how do I adapt these kind of materials for my lessons now from the pandemic to the face-to-face world, back to face-to-face, or I don't know, the questions have to be so small, but I'm sure that all of us have some questions that we have started solving in class, little questions, or we have questions to solve. For example, my question can be, well, I don't know, we will all have, but how do I make, my main focus is the minimum viable product for, because what Marcela has done and what she has shared at the beginning of the session is her product that offers her the minimum functionalities that she needs so that her students can go to, can resort to them autonomously, can resort to it and to the activities in an autonomous way, right? So you created like a minimum viable product, minimum and MVP, it's called, something that is technologically speaking the minimum you can have so that your purpose is achieved, no? What is the minimum? If you have a site, if you had a site only with a grammar section, it wouldn't have been enough, no? So you said, no, I'm going to have grammar plus a few, okay, this is the minimum, and then you can expand. And this is a concept from technology that is very, very interesting. Whenever they create a new app or whatever, every digital every digital venture, startup, enterprise, entrepreneur, or whatever starts with a minimum viable product. Now I'm making the minimum viable product of spiderweb method. And it takes a lot of time because you have so many things to include, and you cannot keep it short and small and little and effective. So I think that looking for minimum and effective things to solve a problem is crucial. Maybe that can also be, I don't know, what are the minimum things we need to solve which problem we have? And all of us in the SIG will have different questions arising. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
definitely, yeah.
I like the idea.
Yes, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And it's true that we need to like start and focus on something small, because if it is too broad, we will lose focus. We will not know what we'll be maybe dealing with. Yes, I mean, if the topic is too broad, then we will lose track, yes, of it. Maybe we get, yeah. So maybe it's a good idea that for, I don't know what you think, Gabby, maybe for our following SIG, we can all like bring our one possible like question, like
Yes.
a problem, yes,
A
that
problem,
we.
and I don't know if we have to ask permission to Mercedes Folinia to use the template you share, Ceci.
Yes,
Maybe,
I will ask her.
okay, so
I will
and
ask her.
we can use that to help us to define the question or the minimal problem we have in our teaching context for next meeting, and start discussing, and maybe we can team up, because it can happen that some teachers have the same problem, and we can team up and work on that. And
Yeah, so
then
maybe not everyone, like, it can happen that maybe not everyone can think of something or has the time to. Maybe with one or two that we have, we can at least start discussing those and dealing with them. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be like 10 of them,
Yes,
or
of course.
I think we have to define the question.
yes.
And then when we do our contributions or research, or when we begin to look for information, to go to the literature, because we will have to have some background, to read other papers maybe and share. But the question has to be very clearly defined, so that we don't begin to lose focus. I think that the most important thing is to have a question, go back to that every time, because of course we have lots of things, but we are the EdTechSig, so our question has to be restricted to that.
Yeah.
We also face problems, but the problems that we are going to tackle here are the problems connected with educational technology.
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah. That's why probably asking all of us to have to make a list of the problem and possible solutions or whatever, and then choosing one or two is going to what Juli said is going to be good. I'm thinking that well, I don't know, maybe for example, I was thinking of mixability, and you know the page Breaking News English. Breaking news has text at different levels, no? And the beginner. So, what resources? Maybe one question would be: what resources are there for mixed ability groups, or how do I adapt activities for mixed ability groups? Online activities, no? So, or sites and how they work, and then the methodology. But then again, the problem is that how vast the topic can become. How to adapt activities is methodologically a methodological question, but maybe how to adapt activities in Genially, or using Genially, or how Genially can help me to adapt activities to different levels, no, to mixed ability groups. And we prepare a little bit of the theory, but well, there are so many topics. We have to listen to the whole group and see.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
When is the next meeting, Gaby?
The 21st.
Ah, well. I thought it was on the 28th.
Yes. And we were another thing to propose because
Yes, we have
let's
noticed
say
that maybe,
many of
yeah, go ahead, go.
no go fully done. Okay, so we noticed that many singers have problems to connect on Saturday morning.
Yes.
And well, we can, I don't know, I mean, we are going or we have to vote about that. And we were thinking to change the day of our meetings to Fridays evening, let's say 7 p.m. But well, I
If
don't
it's
know.
not the day I go inside, I have my business English SIG at that time, but if it's not a day in which I go inside, I don't know.
Okay, so and because the main problem also is that the EdTech always coincide with language SIG.
Okay.
And many of our SIGers are also participating in language. So that's why today we are so few.
We are so few.
Yes, exactly.
And Gabby,
Yes.
so if we decide on that, our next meeting would be on a Friday.
First, we need, yes, to vote. Yes, because there are just 5 of us here. I think we need to maybe
ask
all
on
of
the
us.
chat.
Yes.
Ask on the WhatsApp group.
And then we will have to contact the LOs as well. Yes.
Yes, I prefer 6, not 7. But well,
public schools meets on Fridays too at 6:30.
Okay.
6:30.
Yes, we already have.
Which the thing is that which Friday, because if it doesn't coincide with Friday, we can probably do.
Yes, we can check the calendar.
So let me public schools.
And the time, yes, we suggested maybe 7. We thought about, I don't know if teachers are working at schools and if they finish at around 4 or 5, but of course we can like maybe meet earlier if like everybody agrees. Hello, Cristina.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Oh, hello. I was in the language 6, so I'm sorry I'm late. But well, later on, if you record it, I'll watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
And tell me what's the to-do list for next meeting and when it is.
Okay.
Okay. Now the point is that Saturdays. Saturdays we coincide with the language SIG. Fridays we coincide with the public schools and the business English SIG. So the question is not probably the day, it's probably the day, the day of the month. Maybe which Saturday we're meeting, or
and also the time. For next month, the language meeting will be on the 21st at 10.
At the same, yeah.
So I checked the calendar. I checked the calendar, and EdTechSig and the language SIG
are on the same day always.
Well, can we change the Saturday? Can we do another Saturday? I mean, is that a possibility? Because rather than going to Fridays, in which case we will also have to make sure that it's not the same day as the public school.
Why not 28?
28.
Yeah, that would be okay.
It is a literature and the teacher research 6, but I think that
why don't we change the time, because maybe one SIG could start at 9:30 and the other at 11. So from 11 to 12:30, and then so if we meet at 11 and the language SIG meets at 9:30 always every Saturday, then we will not overlap.
From 11 to 12:30, you say, Lydia?
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe we can agree, I don't know, but maybe we can agree with language and I don't know. So next Saturday we meet later, and the following meeting the language meet later. So we can change. What do you think now? It's so complicated.
The language SIG today stopped at around 11:20. So probably meeting at 11:30 is one
No,
possibility.
they can meet at 9:30, 9:30 to 11, and we meet from 11 to 12:30 any Saturday. But if we keep that time, we will never overlap.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
as far
mind.
as I'm concerned, it's a good idea. I don't
It's
know
good.
about other people. I mean, if I have to get up early, I could even meet at 8, but I'm not sure about other people.
But it's just half an hour, and that will ensure that we can all take part in both, because this, I mean, it's not something so different. 9:30, 10. I mean, it's okay.
So,
we could take 9:30 if they want to take 11, but throughout the year, so that in this way we know that they are always any Saturday at 9:30. They will meet at 9:30, and we meet at 11.
okay. So
I think it
maybe
simplifies things.
yes, so we can change the time. So what do you prefer? 9:30? No.
It's the same. To me, it's the same.
Yes,
To me,
for
It's all
me,
the
it's
same to me.
Because I don't go to the language SIG. So to me,
okay.
I don't mind.
yes.
So, well, but
and on the 21st, on the 21st
yes,
at
don't change the date, but yes, the time. So,
because I was going to, since we have this breakfast on the 14th, because my other SIG is the history and culture SIG. They were going to meet on the 14th, but we have this breakfast organized by APIVA. So I was going to ask them if they wanted to meet on the 21st. We have now this, and we were going to coincide.
But again, if we meet at 11, that won't be a problem. I think that that maybe this has to come from the CD. The time should be either 9:30 or 11.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
So, Juli, what do you think?
Yes, I was thinking that maybe we can, when we vote, we can have maybe two options. Option number one is stay on Saturday, yes, maybe 9:30. Option number two, Friday, if they want to change the date, because I was checking, and for example, public schools 6 in May is on the 6th, and business SIG is on the 27th. So that gives us the possibility of choosing either the 13th or the 20th.
Or the 20th.
I mean, it's not, they do not coincide. And if there are people maybe working on Saturday morning, maybe they find it also preferable. But that's why maybe we can have the two options, maybe Friday, maybe 6:30 or 7, yes, or stay Saturday, yes, and change the time to 9:30. Yeah, okay. What do you think? And we can vote among these two options. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, perfect.
So our next meeting.
Well, the other option could be some people might want to keep this timetable. No, perhaps they had a problem today, but maybe so it should be three options. The one we have, because it's a regular, and the two that Juli recommends, no?
Okay, 9:30 or 10. Saturdays, 9:30 or 10, it would be.
No.
Yes, because our regular time is, for this year, is Saturdays at 10.
No, then I say, no, three options. Friday, PM, Saturday at 9, and Saturday at 9 at 9:30, and Saturday at 11, as you said.
At 11.
At 11. Okay.
Because in that way we know, and the instructions are tick as many options as possible.
Yeah.
Not the one you prefer. Tick all the ones in which you can. No, not what you prefer. I prefer one. No. All the ones in which you can, because if we have all the options ticked, we will know exactly what the most, what the majority wants. And what shall we ask them? The SIG, if we can, the research SIG, shall we ask? Gabi, will you ask, or if we can join them, if we can give a joint, like kickstart session to the BSIG and to us, because Virginia is going to ask them. So if we agree, it would be great to.
I can ask. Mariana, is it the coordinator? Oh, Lydia. We can ask to Lydia. Lydia is our singer. She is participating, Lydia Casalini.
But maybe the coordinator. The coordinator.
Yes,
Yes, of
she's the
course.
coordinator. And
Gabby,
yes.
if I have to, if we have to change the history and culture SIG, I will probably not be here for our next meeting. If you do it at 9:30, I can be half an hour.
Okay.
Because the history and culture begins at 10. So I can share some things for half an hour and then I leave.
Well,
because I don't know what will the majority say about the 14th. Because the 14th, I believe everybody will want to go to the breakfast that Apiba is organizing.
Okay.
So I don't know or I don't know if we can reschedule this for the 28th. I don't have the slight. I have the thing is that I have to talk to Mayra. Mayra is the other coordinator, but she has just moved to Mexico. And I don't want to bother her very much because I sent her some messages and I told her, I know that you are moving to another country, but we have this situation coming right now.
But also you have to think about the time difference, because our time zone might be very different.
Exactly, she's 2 hours something
ahead?
there.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know. She told me 2 hours. I don't know if ahead or
behind.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so we will define this when we have the results of the poll. Okay. And I am going to talk with Maria Marta and Lidia Casalini. Let's see if one day, because I was checking when they meet, and they always meet at the end of the month. So maybe they can join one of in our next meeting to give some tips on how to prepare our booklet or handbook, whatever.
Yeah, one of the things is that when Virginia Lopez Grisolia asked them, they said that it would not be possible for them to change days or whatever. So if we go to their time, if we go to their slot, I mean, the idea is that they organize it in their time frame or schedule. And we all, be the BSIG and the EdTechSig and any other SIG, can go to their home, you know.
Okay.
That would be the idea, because they are like priority. If they are opening the doors of their house to us.
Okay. So they will meet on the 28th of May at 10. So the idea is to go to that meeting.
Yes, if they accept, and if the SIG accept, well, we have to. I think it's a good idea. I don't know what you think, but if we have that invitation and they can brief us on what it entails to do action research and templates, and then we can continue on our own. But I don't think that taking on us this humongous task of having to read the whole book and make a template, which is a good idea, but it's already things that they have already done and they have already got, processed. So we can build up on their knowledge and experience and do our own process.
Okay, good. And Ceci, can you ask Mercedes Folinia if we can share the template?
Yes, I'll ask her right away.
Okay.
Yes.
So
and then I share in the chat.
We have to prepare the poll for change our date or our day or time. Let's see if we can start working on this template that Ceci shared by Mercedes. I will talk to Maria Marta and Lydia, who are the coordinators on research SIG. And what else, Juli? Anything else?
Yes, the question, maybe think about, the question in relation, once we share the template, come up with a question, a problem, so we can share next meeting, so that we start focusing on the...
Sorry, and then maybe the big question could be the ones that Ceci shared in the chat. how can we adapt what we created online during the pandemic to face-to-face lessons? And then this is our starting point. And from there, then we will narrow the questions in our own problems, okay?
Exactly.
Inside, or or questions inside our teaching contexts. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Good.
Okay, so let's keep in touch. Yes, to see whether we are meeting on a Saturday or not. Yes, for our next SIG, and we'll also keep in touch regarding the research SIG. Maybe we can join them as well. So we'll be in touch on WhatsApp. Yes, as usual. Exactly. Yes. I think we can, I don't know if you agree, we can call it a day for today. Yes. So, well, thank you very much, yes, for joining.
Thank you for joining us.
Let's meet.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
See you next time.